And we're back in Canada at the Grand Prix de Valcourt. It's time for us to check into what we were talking about earlier about the injuries, the mechanicals. Let's go inside cross.
It's time for us to go back inside cross from round 6 of the Snowcross Worldwide Championship. You know, the first 5 rounds of the championship have been awfully tough, not only on machine, but on men. And some of those guys, they have been riding tough. For instance, at Crandon, Noel Kohansky, a big digger. Then we go to Deadwood, more spectacular yet. Trevor John and the Polaris and Reimer get together on the Cat, big crash. And then at Canterbury, the most spectacular of all. It's Vincent, it's Morgan, they hit midair. This takes its toll. The question, how you doing, guys?
Hurt my shoulder pretty bad at Canterbury.
Really sore chest. I got ligaments torn in my chest and muscles.
How long is the show?
I had a bunch of injuries. My back's kind of killing me, but
I have ankle braces on both my ankles, and I have
I broke my shoulder and kind of re-aggravated it quite a
muscles
bit.
torn. I got 2 heels that are super sore. I mean,
I'm gonna sound like a whiner.
I hyperextended my knee on Friday in the finishing up the Lewis race.
I got a bulging disc in my back.
If I really want to be whiny.
if I walk on a pebble, it feels like a thorn going through my heel. Ankles, knees.
Ankle is hurting, my heel is hurting, and my pride is hurting too.
As we've seen, snowcross is a sport that involves risk and occasionally some injury. The key is limiting the injury. The World Snowmobile Association pays incredible attention to the protective armor that the racers have to wear. It's developed over the years. And of course, Kirk Hibbert, a legend in snowcross racing, has seen a lot of that development unfold. And Kirk, right now, what does the WSA require racers to wear before you hit the track?
Right now, we are required to wear a good, sturdy, protective boot. Then on our leg, full kneecap and front shin, lower leg protection. And then full wraparound body protection. And then up on top, of course, and probably most importantly, is the helmet.
Now, of course, earlier this year, you mentioned the helmet, and that particular piece of safety equipment played a big role in a crash you had earlier. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the helmet, of course, is probably the most important of them all. And what happened is on a corner just before a jump, I got a little crossed up on an icy rut, and it knocked my speed off and sent me over the launch crooked. And Tony Heikkinen had to come off the corner a little differently, and we crossed paths, and I just hit the ground, and he hit right down on top of me. His ski took the full impact right onto my helmet here, and as you can see, there's a full fracture there. This drove my head right into the handlebars. You know, this helmet is now ruined, but it obviously could have saved me a lot of energy, possibly even my life.
Well, the amazing thing about that helmet is after that crash, you got up, got back on your sled, and indeed kept racing. It did its job.
Yes, it definitely done its job. I was a little dazed, a little shook, but really unhurt.
Certainly, as always, lots of developments on the current snowcross scene. We always like to take a look at a future up-and-comer. In this show, it's Jim Beck Jr. And Jim, obviously, you've been racing snowmobiles for some time, but this year you're riding on the pro level for Skidoo. Big step for you. How's it going?
It's going great. Yeah, I've been racing for 7 years, and this is my first year pro, and I made like 10 of the national finals. It's just going, having a hell of a time. It's just been fun.
Interesting running with some of the legends in the sport, trying to stay close, learn a lot.
Yeah, I try to follow Blair Moore as much as I can. You know, you can learn so much from riding with him. He's so smooth, and it's just great riding with the pros. It's so much fun going in the corner after a hole shot because nobody runs into you, and it's just clean riding all the time. It's fun.
One of the things that we've noticed is when you were in the semi-pro ranks and everything, you like to go huge, go for big air. Notice you're reining that in just a little bit. Is that some lessons you learned from the pros?
Yeah, sometimes you don't make as much time in the air, so my dad kind of tells me to keep it down on the ground sometimes, and I can see some spots where I'm not making time in the air and see some spots where I'm making time in the air, so it's kind of, I'm holding it closer to the ground than I have been in the past years, but we're still going big.
I was going to say, one thing it sounds like is you're not feeling any of the anxiety that some of these guys feel moving in with the pros. You seem to be enjoying life at the top.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I can't say much better than it's fun.
And Jim Beck is somebody we're going to be hearing and seeing an awful lot of in the World Snowmobile Association action, I think, for a long time to come.
Thanks, Greg. When we come back, Pro 440 action as we head for the finals. Second of our 3 races today. Two-wheel variety? Well, we've got ice bikes and also ice sleds. They run on the big oval. And these guys think that the snowcross riders are crazy. Their track is outside of our track, Greg.
Exactly. This track built inside, and it is one of the tracks that really gives these guys a little bit of leg room to run. It's smooth and pretty quick. Start line, long run into the first turn, which is a long hairpin. And here's a look at how that'll unfold. Right after that start-finish jump, a fairly good long ramp. There are some jumps and bumps in there, but it's relatively smooth. And a lot of lines, as you see in that first turn, and that has made the starts throughout qualifying certainly very interesting. Then you come over into a section of switchbacks, really, which is punctuated by big jumps. There's a big jump leading in, big jump midpoint, big jump out. Here's the first one, and you catch a lot of air, and you got to land it right because immediately after the landing, you're turning. You got to get down, get on the power. There's another jump, and then into a big bank left-hander, and then hard acceleration, a big flyaway followed by a very quick right-hand snap. And that leads you into a chute here that takes you into the final turn, which is a little bit more tight of a hairpin, and then that long run back up to the finish line and back to where they started. And here's a look at it. As you come out of those switchbacks, you got, again, a lot of different lines into this turn. A little bit shorter, quicker inside line, but the outside line gives you more speed, more exit speed. And coming up to the finish, that can pay huge dividends. And as you just saw right there, that outside line, it can be quick.
So now you know what the circuit looks like. It's now time to go Pro 440 racing. Blair Morgan is the points leader in this division by 46. He was our top qualifier as well.
And Chris Vincent, once again, second in points. Morgan and Vincent, the show has continued all season long. He would really like to untrack a win here in 440. He's been shut out.
Tony Heigen in 6th place. That's his Pro 600 final result. He wants to improve that here in Pro 440 action.
He's been suffering those injuries all season long. This would be a good one in front of the Skidoo crowd. Kirk Hibbert, he is having his best weekend of the season on that Arctic Cat.
The oldest man in the field at age 41. That's the number he'll be wearing. And here's one of the youngsters, Jim Beck Jr. You met him in our Inside Cross action feature, and he is 4th in the points right now coming into today's racing action. And Yana Tapio, boy, that's 2nd place in the Pro 600 final. Could he possibly do even better? I didn't expect him to do 2nd in that race.
He certainly recovered well from that knee injury. And Aaron Shield, of course, 7th in the points. But he's been very quick this week, and he was top qualifier in that Pro 600 final. He could be a spoiler.
Total of 14 sleds here in Pro 440 action. There you get the rest of the starting field. You can see that the second line, you don't want to be back there. And those are the 4 guys that make up that group. Tim Mackey not having the kind of weekend that he wanted to at all. He is the teammate of Chris Vincent's. We're getting ready for the green flag. We're underway.
Very even start off the line. Vincent inside right there, but Yana Tapio, beautiful start. And look at that. He's already opened up almost 3 sled lengths.
And again, the guy who did not get a great start is the 7C of Blair Morgan. He's back there in 5th.
And, oh, Jim Beck, just a slight tip over. Didn't even disconnect the tether. He's just going to be able to continue on. Obviously, he has lost a lot of ground. But a great start right there in 3rd, Aaron Shield. This is his best early running in one of the pro finals at a national level this season. Great run for him.
Remember, he was our top qualifier in Pro 600 and then had that crash in turn number 1. So this would be a bit of redemption for him.
Probably feels there's some unfinished business. You're absolutely right. And look at the air these sleds are getting over that start-finish jump. And again, really, that jump just breaks up what is a very long straight, so they carry some excellent speed.
So Blair Morgan back in 5th place right now, and that's the man they're chasing, Yana Tapio.
He is having a great weekend, and we've documented how for all of the other competitors on the circuit, we're past the halfway point, they're beat up, the sled's a little beat up. Yana Tapio is pretty fresh. He's been doing a lot of physical therapy and recovering from injury, and he may just be a little bit cleaner, a little bit fresher, a little bit more energetic.
Yeah, but the thing that amazes me is you still have to be in race competition form. And he's coming out here. He finished 2nd in the first race. Here he is leading, and Vincent's not closing on him.
I just wonder if he hasn't been awfully antsy, just chomping at the bit to get back, and maybe he's just really focused, really after it right now. And of course, as we said, the factory Skidoo program brought him in for this race, and he is not about to disappoint, and boy, he is on form.
As you can see them coming over the jumps there. There is the battle for 4th. That's Blair Morgan trying to get around Tony Heikkinen.
And these guys, they've had their little wars this season as well. They had a great run together at Crandon, and Morgan working up the inside. Now remember that pass he put on, we saw in that Pro 600 final. Tony knows he's there and working these twisty bits now into that last corner, that long hairpin. Look at the different lines. Heikkinen liked that inside line, and it worked for him this time. But Morgan, look at the exit speed.
Takes off a tearaway, but it's not enough to catch Tony Heikkinen. He maintains 4th position down into turn 1 again.
This time, Morgan ducks behind Heikkinen, the outside line, a little bit too choppy right now in that first turn. Now he moves over a little bit, just trying to carry some speed. Got inside of him.
Oh, what a great inside-outside maneuver. Tony Heikkinen maintains the position, comes to a stop there. He's still got the inside line, runs him up, and now it looks like he's going to lose the position finally to Blair Morgan.
That is racing snowcross style at its best. And again, those passes they're setting up, taking 2 to 3 corners to complete. That's what it's about.
So Blair Morgan moves into 4th place right now. Our leader is still Yana Tapio. We've got a lot more coming your way here in Pro 440 action. Stay with us here at Valcourt.
Here, something that's impressing me very much, and we've been going on and on about Blair Morgan and the stand-up style and how that's the way to rule in snowcross. Tapio doesn't use it. He's far more of a traditional sit-down and gas it rider, but he's proven that can be effective when you execute as flawlessly as he is. He's just dialed.
You want to see how much he is executing? Well, he's the executioner, and that's the guy in 2nd place that's getting fried right now because Chris Vincent is nowhere close to him. This is the best battle we've got on the race course. That's Aaron Shield, and guess who's right behind him? Blair Morgan.
Morgan has caught him and is applying tons of pressure right now. This is where we'll find out what Aaron Shield, the Iceman, they call him, is all about. Aaron, of course, made his name racing on the Ice Le Mans circuits and then decided he wanted to become a world-class snowcrosser. He's dedicated the last 3 years to doing it. Now it's time to prove it. Is the Iceman a good moniker for ice in his veins? Boy, he shut the door on Morgan there.
And Morgan hits the bail, has to come to a complete stop, and then go back out on course. And I think he realizes, well, that took care of 3rd place for this race.
Well, Morgan had tried inside, outside, all kinds of corners, and when he really went after Aaron, Aaron had no doubts and just slammed the door shut, and that cost Morgan big time. But Tapio, he is just absolutely flawless. What a magnificent return to racing for this guy.
2 laps to go here, and Yana Tapio. Now remember, he's coming off this injury. He's already finished 2nd in the 600. Here he is in 440 action. It looks like he's going to win. The only way he's going to lose is if he really makes a major mistake or the machine breaks.
And you know what? A huge story developing here, because if he does hold on for the win, it will be the first time all season to the 6th round that Blair Morgan has not won the final in Pro 440. He's on his last lap. The streak may be over.
White flag is out. We're on the final circuit here at the Circuit Yvon Duhamel, and it looks like Skidoo's going to pick up a win here. And you're right, he's going to break the string as Yana Tapio's return continues to be impressive here to 1999 snowcross action.
He has simply checked out on the field. I mean, Vincent not even in the shots anymore. And Yana Tapio, I think he's healthy. There's no question. There's Morgan, but he's now further back and forth as a result of that moment with Aaron Shield. And what a ride by Aaron Shield. Great day for him as well.
So there is Yana Tapio making his way towards the checkered flag, fist in the air, and yes, he has done it in his first time back on a 440. He takes it to victory lane, snaps the win streak that Blair Morgan had going, and 2nd place will go to Chris Vincent, and there is a very happy Yana Tapio.
He is elated, and with good reason. Gets the congratulations from WSA starter Brian Russ. And let's go back and take a look at the start, Marty, because this is really where Tapio really, I think, demoralized some of the competition. Pretty even start right out of the gate, but watch this. Vincent looking strong when from the outside, Tapio knifes across the nose of everybody, gets to that inside lane, and right there as Vincent trying to counter, not going to happen. Tapio's got it.
So let's go down to victory lane and hear from our race winner.
Well, all the accessories that a winner has to put on, the goggles and the hat, this time go to Yana Tapio. And Yanni, last year you ran in the pro circuit, had an injury. You weren't able to get back until late this season. What a comeback. Congratulations.
Thank you. I was very happy to be here, and Ski-Doo invited me here to race this one weekend here, and Tuesday I'm coming back to Finland, but we will see what happens next year.
Did you have any idea when you came back here to race for World Snowmobile Association you'd have this kind of success?
No, I didn't have any idea. I thought that I would be very happy to be in a final, and in the final top 3 would be like jackpot. That is like 10 times jackpot for me.
He not only hits the jackpot, I think Yanni just won the lottery. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's take a look now at the final results. Jana Tapio, Chris Vincent, Aaron Scheel in third. Blair Morgan, Tony Heikkinen, and Earl Reimer round out the top 6. Let's go to Aaron Scheel. This was his best run of the year.
Perhaps never has the Iceman moniker been more apropos. Aaron, you had to have ice in those veins knowing that Blair was right behind you.
Yeah, I tried to make my sled 8 feet wide as best I could. I knew he was knocking, hammering hard, but made it.
There were a couple of times when it looked like he was going for the inside, and suddenly you were there. I mean, you seemed to be able to read exactly what he was planning.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look back too often. I looked over the finish line jump here once and noticed he was on the outside, and I knew he was probably going to try to, I was fading a little while, fading to the outside most of the corners, so I tried to tighten it up as best I could, and move around as much as I could, and keep guessing as to know where I was going to go.
Podium finish in Valcourt, Aaron. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. It's we've worked hard to get here, and it feels really good.
We race 3 different types of sleds professionally here in snowcross. They look similar, right? Well, they're not. When we come back, Greg Kramer will explain the differences. Stay with us.